12 months ago, I did something that in most people's opinion wasn't a very good idea. I shut down the one thing that kept me afloat for 3 years. Now, why I did it is for a whole nother video. But now with my income source gone and my account dwindling down to zero like a countdown timer, it didn't take a genius to realize that if I didn't do something fast, I would be in a hot mess. But fast forward a couple months, I end up making my first $100,000 year, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it. Have you ever just sat down and thought, wow, I should be way further ahead in life by now? I feel like I've achieved nothing. You're looking around on social media at people half your age making twice as much as you make on a yearly income as their monthly income, and just think, how is this happening right now? Well, that was me about 8 months ago. I just wrapped up my creative agency that I had for about 3 years, and I didn't become a millionaire off of it or anything, but it was just enough to not work some soul-sucking job that I hated going to every day. But if I'm being honest, after those 3 years, I was in a weird place. Like, I felt like I've accomplished something, but not really that much to feel like I can move on to my next phase in life. And that left me with the question, what now? So when the opportunity for me to dive into sales came around, I was like, why not? I already have some sales experience from running my agency. Honestly, it couldn't be that hard. But boy, was I wrong. And that brings me to my first principle on how I actually brainwash myself to make a bit of money. Embrace the beginner mindset. So the beginner's mindset is not about staying a beginner and never growing or never learning. It's actually quite the opposite. It's really about dropping your ego and being willing to always learn and grow, literally from anyone and everyone you meet. Well, embracing the beginner mindset forced me to learn all the things that I need to as fast as possible because I wanted to become better. And the result of that was me making $6K the first month ever of me doing sales full time. So the natural question you're probably asking is, how did I actually do that? And one of the most important things that I learned at that time was the closer framework by Alex Hormozi himself. $100 million man. What is the closer framework? It's essentially an acronym that presents the process of getting a prospect to say yes. Now, I'm going to break it down to you as fast as I can. So C stands for clarify, why the prospect is there on the call with you. What is their problem and how can you help them? And L is for labeling with the problem, because you can't cure cancer until you know you have it. And O is to overview their past pains, to figure out what they've done in the past and to see if your offer is a better solution for them. S is for sell the vacation and not the plane ticket. Basically meaning people get overwhelmed with all these features when realistically they're looking for a certain outcome that they want to achieve. E is for explaining their concerns away. Your prospect will always have a reason why they can't buy or certain objections that come up, and this is where you handle that. R is when you reinforce the decision that they've already made to be able to make the decision that they want to. You gotta remember, people buy with emotion and they justify with logic. So you have to make this part very clear to them on why they're doing what they're doing. Now, the second principle of how I brainwash myself to make money is actually a trap that most salespeople fall into. Just like me, most salespeople get into sales because they want to make more money. Now, I'm not saying it's bad to make money, but if your sole thought and motive is to make money when you're going into sales, could be the literal reason why you never make any at all, or at least not make life-changing money to actually do something for your situation. And really the biggest issue with that mindset is it's a trap. It'll lead you into selling without integrity, selling to people who don't need what you are actually selling, or even getting behind people you don't actually trust. And something that helps me avoid this trap completely is just remembering what Alex Hormozi said. The person who cares the most wins. And this is the thought that I've understood after taking 500 plus sales calls, is that people buy when they feel understood. And if they feel understood by you actually caring, then you'll make more sales. Shocker. I know, people aren't dumb. They can smell it a mile away when you're trying to be manipulative and sleazy and you're just pulling from some weird manipulative script. They understand what's going on. Okay, so how do you avoid losing your prospect before you even make the pitch? You have to first understand that sales is not necessarily about manipulation or persuasion. It's just about having a conversation. And this right here is one of the main reasons why most people can't have genuine conversations with the people that they're selling to, or helping out rather, like I like to say, is because they don't have genuine belief
in the product they're selling.
That's the worst kind of salesperson to be. It's what we like to call commission breath, when you're trying to be manipulative and really trying to get your own way so bad that you'll say anything to get the sale. Because at that point, you're almost leaving the prospect to think, do you actually believe in the product or want to help me? Or are you just selling this to get your own way?
So now the problem is, how do we not get fired and actually gain some true belief in what we're selling?
Here's a quick hack that I use to make sure I'm always selling with integrity. I ask myself this question: would I sell this to my mom, or would I sell this to a loved one if they needed that product? If the answer is no, then stop it. Don't sell it. Run away as far as you can. Now, the third principle is the most important. And shocker, it's another Alex Hormozi quote, but volume negates luck. And you've probably heard of the small band before, the Beatles. Pretty iconic band. They've sold over 1 billion records. Well, what most people don't know about the Beatles before they became iconic is that they had to practice over 10,000 hours just to hone in on their craft and develop their sound. Another example of this is Alex Hormozi himself. He's worth multiple hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm pretty sure $1 billion coming soon. But he's like the godfather of modern day business and sales. And it's not because he's so highly intelligent, which I think he is, but it's because he's put in the work. From what he said, he's done over 4,000 one-on-one sales calls. And it's funny because when I say I made $100,000 within 8 or so months, the reaction that most people would say is, oh wow, you're lucky, or you're in the right place in the right time. I had to put in many hours of working and studying and sacrificing with no distractions just to get to the skill that I have today. And I can confidently say I've watched hundreds of hours of sales training from Alex Hormozi, Jeremy Miner, literally anyone on the internet that's making that. And what I would do every morning was wake up, go walk and get my coffee, and just watch these videos over and over until it became natural. And to be honest, it wasn't fun. The repeated cycle of learning and executing on a daily basis, coupled with the many calls that I had on a daily basis that I had to show up to or I would lose my opportunity, made me build up the skill level I have today.
So yes, luck may play a role into some people becoming successful, but let's be honest, that's the point. 0.00001% of people. But for the rest of us, we have to create our own luck, put in as much volume and as much work as we possibly can to become the people we want to be.